Hi, my name is Leandro Facchinetti and I am so exposed. Look at that. How about this? This looks better. Let's write some code together, shall we? What we have on the menu today is the next part. I lost count of it's the next part on this series of streams in which I am developing an open source app called Notestrator that allows you to take notes on top of your screen. It is like a telestrator, that's why it's called Notestrator. It has note in the name. Do you like the name? Let me know if you have a better idea for a name. I'm not 100% sure I like the name. But the idea of this app is that you have one of these tablets and you want to present to someone on a live stream, or you have a meeting or something, and you want to be able to draw on top of your screen using your tablet. And there are a couple apps that try to do this, but they are either expensive or they don't really work well, or both. And there are several attempts to build an app like this using Electron, the technology that we are using. And yeah, it seems like no attempt is 100% complete, so maybe we'll get there first and be the first open source, very polished app to do this. And as I said, we are using Node.js and JavaScript to develop this. So what we are going to do today is probably the most JavaScript and CSS and HTML part of the project, which is to style the menu. And we'll begin by fixing something that we broke yesterday. So yeah, let's jump in. So yesterday we finished implementing this idea of smoothing out the curve. And let's give the app a try and see where we are at. Yeah, I was playing with PHP stuff, but I want to npm start. And I'm also going to turn on the tablet. So this is where we are at. Let's go over all the features that we have implemented. The tablet is not connecting. I'll give this one more try. Let's go to the Bluetooth options and see if there is something there. It may be dying. The battery may be dying. And I don't want to get the cable. Yeah, it's connected now. So I don't know what happened. In any case, let's give this a try and let's talk about all the features we currently have. So you can draw. That is working. You can change the colors. You can change the thickness of your stroke. You can change between 3 different tools: pen, marker, which makes the line thicker and also transparent. And we implemented this yesterday, where there is this feature that if you are marking something, it's always behind whatever you drew. So I think it makes sense that way. The eraser, however, is not working. The eraser is broken, and we need to fix that. And that's because of how we implement things to make the curves smooth. Before, they were looking like a bunch of straight lines between the points, which is exactly what that was. And we also have this feature that is to click through, so you can leave the drawing on the screen while you interact with the apps underneath the drawing. And also there is this mode that fades away your drawing. So you draw something, not the eraser. Let's put the marker in blue. So you draw something and it fades away, and it does so in 3 different speeds, I guess. So that's the features we have implemented, and the eraser is broken. So let's fix the eraser. The way that the eraser works is... Come on. Okay. The way that the eraser works is we have a collection of points. We have collected the points as we were moving the cursor around or moving the pen around. The pen is equivalent to a mouse from JavaScript's perspective. So we have collected all these points, and then we check, is the eraser active and it is near enough one of the points in the curve? If so, remove that element. Now the problem here is that so we changed the implementation. Previously this was using a polyline, which was just a bunch of straight lines, and that was not smooth, and we changed that to a path. And not only that, the path specifies the points in a different way. So let's change this from polyline to path. And then unfortunately, it's not so easy to parse the points out of the path. Now, I wonder, do you think it's better for us to store the points in the path in a way twice, once for drawing and then again for the eraser, because that would be maybe simpler to implement and maybe faster, because here we would have to keep parsing the thing again and again? No, I don't think so. I think it's better for us to just look at the path. It's not that complicated to look at the path, and the D parameter will have the points, but they will be in the middle of a bunch of commands in here. So specifically the M command to move the cursor and the C command over here to draw the curves. So we'll have to parse this. Yeah, let's do it. Shouldn't be too hard. So we have the element and it is a path. So we'll take the D out of the element, where the D is probably the, I think it stands for the definition of the path. These are the points and control points for the curves and so forth. So how do we want to parse this? I think that we can ignore the first point where we move the cursor somewhere. And I think that because there are so many points that if we ignore the first, it doesn't really matter. So D will look, let's look at a specific example of D. Let's see what D looks like. So I'll draw something, and then I will go to the inspector, and here under the SVG there will be a path, and we can look at one example of this D attribute. So it starts by moving the cursor to a certain position, and I don't think we need to look at this point because there are so many points that we can just ignore this one. And then we can look at these C parameters or C actions. They stand for curve, the cubic Bezier curve, or maybe they stand for cubic. I don't know. In any case, it receives three parameters. The first two are control points, and the last one is the point in the curve, and that's the point that we want to check the distance. So I think that what we are going to do is just look for one of these C's, and then 1, 2, 3, and then get the last coordinate. This is going to look like D, or maybe I don't need a variable for this. We'll see. D dot split, not necessarily match. And we have a capital C, and we have a bunch of digits. We have more digits. We have a comma. We have more digits. And then we finally have the thing that we care about, which is a bunch of digits like this. And we want to do this globally. So I guess I need to go now to the command line and experiment with this. So we'll have something that reads like this. I'll have another one. And then we do match, or I guess I can just copy and paste this. And let's see what comes out. Oh, that's nice. What comes out is just an array with the matches. So that's cool. With that, we can just map over. Oh, so I guess we don't need this parenthesis. Yeah, I guess so. So let's say that this is a curve, because that's what it is. And then we can take the curve and split on the comma. Or you know what? I guess you can do this with a single regular expression. So let's give this a try. I am going to say that both of these are capture groups and they are named X and Y. Does that work with global searches like this? Let's find out. No. Yeah, it's not that smart. So let's revert like this, and then we can map over the curve, which is one of the C segments here. We can take the curve and split on the comma, and there will be 3 parts, 0, 1, and 2. We are interested in part number 2. We can trim that and split on the space, and that will give us the coordinates X and Y. That we can plug here, but there is a problem. We want these coordinates to be numbers, and I guess so far we have been relying on the fact that Node.js or JavaScript will convert my strings into numbers when I do arithmetic. But I don't want to rely on that, so I'm going to map with the function number. Okay, that is a bunch of scary lines, but what they are doing is just getting the D attribute, matching on the curve definition, and then mapping each one of the curves and splitting on the comma, getting the third part, trimming this space out, splitting on this space, and mapping over this and that, and then we get the coordinates X and Y. Oh, there is a problem though. These are not just digits, they may also be points, because the thing may look like 1, 2, 3.45. So for instance, if I do 3.3, then that coordinate doesn't show up. So I suppose I need to say that these are either numbers or a dot. That still doesn't work. Oh, because I put the example on the second one. Okay. Oh, and I said dot, but I put a dot there, but in regular expressions we need to say backslash dot. There you go. Now we have the coordinate. So we have to change all occurrences of backslash d to backslash d or backslash dot. Yeah, let's try. So we draw something, we go to the eraser, and we are able to erase. Let's draw more things. And try out the eraser. No, the eraser is not erasing. I wonder if there is some errors in the console. Yes, cannot read property map of null. So let's see why that would be the case. I mean, I already kind of know what the problem is, where the problem is. I kind of already know where the problem is. I just don't know what the problem is. But we only have one call to the map function in our code. So why would that be happening? I don't know. Oh, we have two occurrences. So maybe it's not matching this. Or maybe not that. Yeah, but if this was the problem, the problem would happen probably here, and then the trim would fail. But if we are getting past the trim, then I don't think that this map is to blame. I think that this map is to blame. And if the thing is null, I kind of just... Why would it be null? Is there a path that has no C's? It is working now. And now it's no longer working. Okay, I guess I can reproduce this. I guess that the way you make the error happen is you don't draw a line. What you do is just you put your cursor on the tablet and take it out. And this will draw just a single dot. Is there a way for me to see this? Probably yes. So we have the first path. I can delete that. But the second path is a single dot. So that one doesn't have any curves. And that is a problem because I would like... So yeah, I could try to fix the eraser, but I think that the problem is the pen. I would like if I just touch the tablet so that it doesn't even have a chance of making a curve because there is no mouse move event. I would like to just draw one of these blips, one of these dots. So why don't we do exactly that? And then by doing that, we will have fixed this because there will always be at least one curve for the eraser to work with. So how about when we are drawing, when we do a mouse up, we check. The path get attribute D, it should have I guess I will assign this to a variable. So the path D has to include a capital C. So if it includes a capital C, we don't need to do an extra work, but if it does not include a capital C, then we will path set attribute of D, and then we want to add a C. And I suppose that the coordinate for the C is going to be the coordinate of the M. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'll draw a curve. Maybe I will do something like X and Y is equal to... So if I don't find a C, it means that I only have an M, and the M has the coordinates I am interested in. So I can say D dot split on the space, and then slice to take the first element out. The first element being the letter M. And then I will end up with the coordinates x and y. So over here I can say x and y, and I'll have to say it 3 times because these two are the control points, and this is the point where I literally draw. So, and I have to remember to put the commas here, like the comma that I have over here and over there. That's necessary because that will be used in parsing. So now if I just touch the tablet, sometimes I end up with a dot. I'll try to do this with my mouse or my trackpad because I think I have better precision using the trackpad. No, it doesn't seem to work. Is the eraser going to fail? No, the eraser doesn't fail. So let's start the app from scratch, and I will just touch the trackpad, and there is no form here, there is no drawing. So let's look at what is in the SVG. There is, oh, okay, so I am missing the M, expected move to path command. Oh, that's so nice that I have this error message. That's nice. So I forgot to say that I want to keep the D, which is just the move. And let's see. If I just touch barely, just click, then I end up with one of these dots. Awesome. And then the eraser works again. Cool stuff. Now I'm getting a feel for what it feels like to draw with the app. Is there something that could be improved? Maybe. I don't think that people will actually use this to draw. And of course, I cannot draw. But in case people do try to draw, I think it's okay. I mean, for a kind of a cartoon to say something. But I don't really expect people to use this for drawing anything fancy. So let's commit what we have. We have fixed the eraser. Is there a way to simplify this code? I feel like there is a way to simplify this code, but guess it is what it is. Okay, let's look at the changes that I have, and there are other things below here that are kind of weird to me. We'll talk about this. I wonder if I should generalize this parsing of the D, because I have sort of to do it here and also there, but I'm interested in different parts. Here I'm interested in the C's, and here I'm interested in the M's. Maybe I could generalize this and have a single parsing thing that would get all the points, but don't know. I think I'm gonna just stay with this for now. So now I'm looking at this part here at the bottom. Let's understand what's going on, how the events happen in this app. So the way that this works, the way the app works is really simple actually. We have our drawing window, which is our SVG, and we have a mouse down event, so that when you put your pen on the tablet, it will detect which tool you are using in the stroke width and the color and everything. But after it does that, it is going to add dynamically some event handlers. So it will add a mouse move event, and then when you take out the cursor, it removes that mouse move event. And that's all fine, but what I'm looking at here and I find weird is that I am always adding more and more of these mouse up events. I guess that shouldn't happen. Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. So every event handler that we are adding dynamically inside the event handler for mouse down, if we add, we should remove. And we are doing that with the handle mouse move. We are removing mouse move, but we are not removing this. I don't know what to call this, so I'm going to call it bananas. But what bananas is this. But also, importantly, bananas will remove itself like so. Oh, there is a smarter way of doing this. I can just say that I only want this event to fire, or this event handler to fire once. So instead, what I can say is here on the add event listener mouse up, it will do all this work, but I can also say that I only want to run it once. So let's see if this works. I'm going to comment this out, and I'm going to put here an alert on mouse up. So when I start drawing, I see on mouse up once. But when I draw again, I expect to see it twice. Yeah, so it's firing the on mouse up twice. But if I say once true, on mouse up once, on mouse up once. Okay. There you go. Problem solved. And unfortunately, I cannot play the same trick with on mouse move because I don't want it to run just once. I want it to run while the tool is enabled. All right. Okay, we fixed the eraser. And we even fixed a problem that we didn't know we have, which is this problem of mouse up being fired multiple times. I guess we should now switch gears and yeah, let's switch gears. Let's make the menu look good. So currently what we have is this. Let's make it look good. I guess the first thing I want to do with the menu is to not allow you to close the menu. See, the menu has been destroyed. So I don't want the window to be closable. So this is over here in the Electron part of the app, not the JavaScript, not the HTML. So when we are creating the menu window, we could use a bunch of arguments to control how the menu window can be manipulated. So let's go to the docs for Electron.js browser window. And we did this already for this main window, the drawing window. So we looked at all the possibilities and we decided which ones we wanted, but I forgot to do it for the menu window at the same time. So we have to do this again. So let's see. The width and the height. I think it would be nice if we could have a menu that is small enough to fit on almost every screen, so it could have a fixed size. So let's see what fixed size would be good. I guess 100 by 600 is probably good. I guess we can fit all the tools we would care about in this space. And 100 by 600 is so small that I think every computer screen will fit this. Who knows, maybe the menu can be even smaller when we make it pretty. So X and Y. How about we put it on the top left of the screen? So this is something that gets your current display size and X and Y coordinates, because if you have multiple displays, the X and Y coordinates it's like as if you had a big canvas around all your displays, and I think that the X and Y coordinates are on that space. So if we do this, then it starts on the top left. I guess it doesn't stop on the top left. It doesn't start right here. That's a weird behavior. It doesn't start right here. It pops below the menu bar, but I'm okay with that. Use content size. That's interesting. Okay. I don't think we are gonna go for that. I mean, who knows? Maybe I can manipulate this. So if I go to the menu and I make it so that... Oh, so here our form occupies the whole screen. What if I don't tell it to occupy the whole screen? No. What if I give the body a fixed size? So the width will be 100 pixels and the height will be 600, and then let's make it so it doesn't overflow. So that will be literally the size of the body. Nope. So we are not gonna go for that. Next, show window in the center of the screen. No. We don't want to make this window resizable. So when mean width and height doesn't make sense. Max width and height doesn't make sense. Resizable, we want to set that to false. Movable. That's interesting. We may not want to make the thing movable. How would that look? Okay. No, I don't want that. I want this to be movable. Yeah. But it's nice that you can do this. May come in handy at some point. Minimizable. We don't want this to be minimizable. So now it should not have the yellow button. Cool. Maximizable. I don't think I saw the green button for maximizing, but now we are being explicit. Closable. I don't want this to be closable. Currently it is closable, and that is an issue because then the menu is not defined when you try to query the menu. So closable, false. Ooh, look at that. Now I don't have the little buttons on the top left. Awesome. And it's not resizable. And there is a little menu here, and I think that if I change this to Notestrator, cool stuff. And I want this to be movable, so I guess I want this bar on the top, so we might as well just say Notestrator there. Awesome. What else do we want to do with the window? Focusable. Whether the window can be focused. Default is true. What if I say that the window is not focusable? Because I have this weird situation here where the menu can be out of focus or it can be in focus when I click on here. It doesn't really matter all that much, but it does look weird that it goes out of focus. I'm just playing around. So if we say that it's not focusable, do the buttons still work? Can I move it around? Yes, I can. And then do the buttons still work? Yes. So I guess this is exactly the situation that I want. Okay. Always on top. It is already always on top because it has a parent which is always on top, and a child is always on top of the parent. So this is already always on top. And I don't want it to be full screen. Whether to show the window in taskbar, default is false. I guess this has to do with Windows stuff. I mean, what is this skip taskbar thing? I don't think I see anything. I mean, I guess I can always just say skip taskbar false. I mean, the default is false, so let's say true. The app is still here. I don't know what this default taskbar thing does. Let's Google this. Yeah, this is Windows. Yeah, we'll talk about Windows in a future episode. Kiosk mode we don't want. Title I just set. Using the title tag. An icon could be nice. But we don't have one yet, so... Oh, I am so exposed. Show. Okay, that is starting to get interesting. I think that we don't want to show the window right away as you start the app, because we'll have a menu bar. You know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna close the blinds so I don't have to keep tweaking the exposure. Now that is too dark. Let's fix the exposure one last time. Could be brighter. I think this is good. Okay. Where was I? Show. Yeah, we don't want to show to begin with. I think that when you start the app, it will be only in the menu bar. Or maybe when you start the app, you start in drawing mode. And then you minimize. What do I want the first experience in the app to be? I want to start drawing. So yeah, I'll leave show true, which is the default. Paint when initially, blah, 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 frame, parent, model, accept first mouse, disable auto hide cursor. I find it so weird that the options read like disable auto hide cursor and the default is false. So it's a double negative. So initially auto hide cursor is happening. I find that weird. Auto hide menu bar. No. Okay. This shadow stuff we may want to play with. Because the menu does have a shadow over... you can see a drop shadow here over the other windows. What would it look like without a shadow? It looks terrible. Or maybe not, you know. I mean, yeah, it looks terrible because it's white on white and whatnot, but we could have some styles here would make this look good without the drop shadow. I guess this kind of makes sense with our app because our app is kind of an overlay, so it is kind of nice to not have a drop shadow. You can pretend that all the windows with all their shadows are putting some perspective and some depth to the interface, but this is an overlay. It's like a transparent piece of paper you put on top and you draw. Yeah, we'll disable shadow, opacity, we'll leave dark mode, transparent, type, visual effects, stage title bar style, traffic light position, rounded corners, thick frame, vibrancy. I don't think we care about anything else in here. Oh, closable is something that I want to take a look at. This closable commented out about the main window. So if I start the app and I draw something, the focus is on the drawing window, which is transparent, but can I hit Command W and close it? It seems like I can. And it also closes the menu, which is the child. And then my app is super weird when I do that. So how about I say closable false on the parent? Now I draw something and I hit Command W and it doesn't close. That's more like what I want. I will be able to hide and show these windows. Ugh. So now to close the app, I have to go to the command line and hit Control C. I cannot use Command Q anymore. But I guess I prefer it that way. I want my windows to live throughout the app. When I start the app, I create the windows, and I will only remove the windows when the app closes, and I will hide and show the windows, but I will keep the same windows, so the window is not closable. And accept first mouse, I don't know what that is about. Don't think I want to comment this out. So all the changes look good to me. I want to rewrite some stuff that I find here. So there is this app when ready thing that returns a promise. So I think I prefer to have a style that reads like this. I have an immediately invoked function expression that happens to be asynchronous, so that I can say I'll wait on app when ready, and then I can remove this part and it reads like this, which I find nice. Then I guess I could copy and paste this part here. And now there is this window management thing that we talked about when we started the app. Does that still make sense? Let's see. When the app is activated, okay, that is for when you can close all the windows and the app will still keep running, but in our case we want to hide and show the windows. We want to keep the same windows, the same app windows around. In fact, they are not even closable windows. So all this window management situation does not make sense. It's not necessary, because the length of the get all windows will never be 0. We always have 2 windows open. And then this create window function is only called once. So I can inline the function by doing this. And then these variables are they don't need to be global variables anymore. I can say const okay. Now this looks nice. Does it still work? That's always a good question. So the menu shows up. I can draw. I can make it click through. I can make it not click through. I can take the eraser out and erase some stuff. Yeah, looking good. Let's commit this. Now I'm rereading to see if there is something that sticks out as bad. Suppose we could order this nicely. Oh, this set visible on all workspaces is necessary, so that if we have multiple workspaces like this, the drawing will always be on top of everything. But does it carry around the menu window? Yes, it carries around because the menu window is a child. Okay, so let's reread this and maybe reorder some things. I'll leave web preferences for last, and then I guess I'll start with the most important things, like this doesn't seem too important, but the fact that it can be larger than the screen, that it cannot be resizable or movable or closable. So I guess I will say this in the order that I see here. So closable, false, movable or resizable, doesn't really matter. Closable, movable, resizable, frame, transparent, has shadow. Sounds good. Here, dimensions. I guess the first thing, the most important thing to know about this window is that it is a child of the main window. And then we'll have dimensions, resizable. I guess we can do the same as before. So closable, movable. Well, we do want this one to be movable, so that's fine. So closable, resizable, and then frame, transparent, has shadow. Let's go over this again. Closable, minimizable, maximizable, resizable, false, focusable, false, skip taskbar. Oh, I left that over, but I don't know what that does. So has shadow. And let's see. I'm thinking about this focusable thing. Does that make sense for our main window? It may make sense. Let's commit what we have. And then I will play around. So yeah, that's me just reordering some stuff. And I guess when you start reading this file, you do care about the windows first, and then the interprocess communication. So it makes sense to have it in this order. Now let's see. Closable, closable, movable. I guess this is movable. Resizable, focusable. How about these minimizable and maximizable? We don't want the main window to be minimizable or maximizable. So I'll have right after closable, I'll have minimizable false and maximizable false as well. Because maybe you can hit a keyboard shortcut and try to minimize the main window. Does that work? Let's see. If I comment this out and I start the app, and then I hit Command M to minimize, it minimizes the whole thing. I don't want that to happen. So maybe that will fix this. So I hit Command M and it does not minimize. Closable, check. Minimizable, check. Maximizable, check. Resizable, check. Frame, we want the frame on the other one. Transparent and has shadow only makes sense on this one. And then over here we have resizable, false, and focusable, false. So let's play around with focusable, false. Because in theory, if I say focusable false, it will not say electron here on the top, which is more or less what I want. I don't want it to say Notestrator. Well, it still says electron. At least it still works. I guess it is more correct to do it like that. I wonder what happens with keyboard events. Yeah, they still go to the Electron app. It still goes to Notestrator, which is important because we want to be able to control the app with the keyboard. I'll go over this again. Closable. Last time, I promise. Minimizable, maximizable, resizable only on the other one, movable, false. No, it doesn't really matter. Okay, frame, focusable, false, transparent, has shadow. So this one is movable and this one is not. Okay, enough playing around with this. Now, let's go to, or maybe let's play around with this a bit more. So this main window I want to rename to drawing, or maybe canvas, drawing. And the menu window I want to rename to menu. And then this file is called index. I want to rename it to drawing. And the other one is already called menu. And this index file I want to rename to main because it is the main electron process. And over here I can say main.js. Okay, everything still works. Can I move the menu around? Yes. That was just bookkeeping, making sure that all the names make sense and that everything looks good. Let's play around with the styles on this file. That is our lovely little menu here. There's something that I just noticed. I think that we are writing Notestrator with lowercase letters, right? Let me look at the video description for this stream. No, we are capitalizing the name. Okay. I thought we were not capitalizing the name. Let us write some CSS to make this look good, and also we will start doing some designing here, like the colors. We will start to pick the right colors that we want people to be able to use. So I have a form, and this form is the entirety of my menu. I guess that makes sense. Let me put some background color because I want this to occupy the whole screen, and currently it's not. So here on the body I have to say margin 0. Now of course that needs to be in a style attribute. And over here I don't have to say margin 0. So now it occupies the whole screen, but it is overflowing. I don't have to care about that, however, because we will have a fixed size and the thing is not resizable, so we will make it fit. And then this is flex direction, column, gap of 1 rem. Yes, don't know about this. Let's put some color selectors. What colors do we want to have? I have an idea. We could borrow the design system from Tailwind. I don't necessarily want to use Tailwind, but I do like the defaults in Tailwind as far as colors go and whatnot. So we can go there and borrow the colors. And I don't think I want all the colors in the design system. I know that I will want black and white. So I guess I can just say I'll start with the styles for this. So how about we have a class that is color picker? I don't know, just color. And then here on the head we'll have a style that says color has no appearance. Let me think about this. Yeah, I think we can make this work. So now we are talking about some serious CSS. We are going to start designing some custom components. Like this radio button will not be a default radio button. So I guess I will want to say background color. Well, that one depends on the specific color, so I'll not say it right here. But we can say like width of half a rem and height of half a rem, and when we use that we'll have to say background color of black. But I will want this to be a circle, so I will say border radius of 50%. And I'm applying this to a radio button. I think I will have to say something so it does not render as a radio button. So instead, I'm going to say appearance none. And now it doesn't look like a radio button. It looks like a little black circle. It should probably be a bit bigger than that. No. I meant to say 1 rem. There you go. That's more like it. And then we want to say, what about if it's checked, right? Because currently there is no indication that the thing has been selected. So it has been selected now, but we don't see it. So if the color is checked, then we'll do an after element, which will have a content of nothing. It will be a display block, so it appears on the screen. Its width and height and border radius will be smaller, something like this. Its background color will be white. And so let's take a look at this. Yeah, it is right here. It is too small and it's not positioned correctly. But let's start with the size. So maybe this can be half a rem. Okay, I think this will look okay, but let's position it to make sure. So color, we can say that it's display grid, and we can say what do we have to say here? I forget. I always go to the CSS tricks article on grid. There is a property for us to specify the justification and the alignment at the same time, but I forget what it's called. Place self, I think that's what it's called. Align self, and then if I say place self, it does both. So I can say place self center. That is kind of weird. It is looking a little bit stretched. Why would that be? It's weird. Do I have to change something like the line height? Let's investigate this by making everything a bit bigger. So we can make this maybe 3 and then this 1.5. Will it be more stretched? Yeah, this is not looking right. I mean, at least it behaves right. But what's going on with this? So the other one is a circle and this one is an ellipse. Why? I'll just try something. We'll see. No. Oh, I don't actually need this to be a grid. But it doesn't hurt if it is a grid. It could be a flex. Guess I could say flex. But I don't think that place self works with flex. So that would require justify self of center and align self of center. Yeah, the grid was working better for us. Let's go back. And what if this is like display flex? I don't know, I'm just guessing now. No, same. But if the border radius is bigger, it shouldn't. That shouldn't work. No. I don't know. I don't know. You tell me. I have no idea. I'll just move on. I'll fix this at some point. Okay. We have our little dot there, and then we will want, maybe we will want a div around this selectors. And we don't actually need the label anymore. Oh, I think we need the label. I'll talk about this in a moment. But let's do a few more of these guys. So let's check. Type radius, name color, value black, black matches black. And then class color and style and checked. That seems good. So let's do another one. That one will not be checked and it will be white. Oh, and I don't want both to be under the same label, do I? So that is cool. Sort of, because when I select white, then the whole thing is just white. So check this out. What if instead of having all this, which is not working anyway, what if we have a color checked, just a box shadow of 0, 0, 0, so it will not be displaced and it will have no blur and it will be like 2 pixels thick, and the color will be so check this out. It will be I will remove this pink color in the background of the whole app, and then I will have this two pixel wide white, and then maybe black 4 pixels wide, and then it looks like this. I mean, it's being cut off, but it's probably being cut off by the white right below it. Okay. So now all we gotta do is come here to this div and say that it's going to display flex with a gap of maybe 0.5 rams, and we want the flex direction to be, I don't know yet, we'll see, but I want this to wrap for now. So currently it would just be a line of these guys. And now how about I make the background of the app not pink, but let's borrow a gray, a cool gray, maybe this gray, or maybe even a blue gray. Blue gray could be good. No, I want it more neutral, so cool gray. No. Let's gray. I don't know. We'll see. But now at least the white sort of shows up. Okay, black and white. I know that I want black and white. Let us go to these colors and pick the colors we want to make available to the users. I think that having something around the 500 is okay, so we will have that. Do I want it darker? Let's try a 600. Yeah, I think that 600 will work better here. Now check this out. I have a crazy idea. We have this repetition, right? So how about we come here in the color class and we say that the background color is the attribute value. Is this how you write this? I think it is. Let's see if this still works. It does not. This should have worked. I mean, it's more or less this example. So let's see, class background color red, data background lime. Background expected to be red if your browser does not support advanced usage of adder. Color value. This is an experimental technology. Check the browser compatibility table. So Safari is not it's not compatible, and it seems like no one is. Just for the sake of it, let me try this in Chrome, but I think that this will not fly. we'll have to have the repetition there. Yeah, background expected to be red if your browser does not support advanced usage of adder. CSS adder color. Maybe there is a workaround. Oh yeah, there is a workaround. But then I have to repeat to set a variable, so that doesn't help me. Yeah, that's not gonna fly. Are we good? Yes, we're good. So we are working with the 600s. Let's select colors that we want to have and colors that we don't want to have. So red, I think, is important to have. Orange is too similar, so I will not have orange. But maybe amber could be nice. So maybe I select one and skip the next. How many colors are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Plus black and white. So we have 19 colors. Yeah, let's just try to take one and skip the next, and we will end up with something like 10 colors. Maybe we add a gray in the middle to add up to 10 colors. So take one, skip one. Take one, which is amber. Now you're going to see me copying and pasting stuff. Isn't that fun? Lime 600. Skipped yellow, copy lime. Skip green, copy emerald. Skip teal, copy cyan. So check this out. We have our colors. Let's play around with the colors for a bit. They are all different enough that it makes sense to have them. I mean, these two greens are very near, but okay. They are different enough that they are worth keeping, and they work well at least with a white background that I have here. What if I change to something else? Maybe we'll have something with a dark background. Yeah, but it still kind of works. And we have 9, 10, 12. You know what could be nice? So I'm thinking ahead here. I want the app to be easy to control with just the keyboard. So you can alternatively just hide the menu and not have it on top of your screen, which I think is nice for presentations. So I want this to be controllable by the keyboard, and now I'm thinking ahead about the keyboard shortcuts, and that's what I said before, that I would mention what I meant by the labels in a moment. Oh, so it seems like my tablet is running out of battery. But what was I saying? I was saying that I want the app to be controllable by the keyboard, and I think that it would make sense to have the colors as maybe the numbers. I think that the colors are so important that maybe the numbers could be the colors. So I think we should have 10 colors because we have 10 numbers on the keyboard. So we currently have 11, right? 3 by 3 is 9, 10, 11. So we need to get rid of one. I think we can get rid of one of these two greens, because they are too similar. So let's see if we want to have this green. Oh, let's see how this yellow works. It's amber really, but let's see how it works with the marker. That's important because people often highlight in yellow. This is kind of orange-ish. Is it maybe too dark? Is it too orange? How about a green marker? Green works. And how about this one? Which one works better? I think that this one is working better, so the one I currently have will go away. Or maybe I can get rid of one of the purples. Or maybe I can get rid of these because it is very similar to that. Yeah, I think I'll get rid of this last one. And what is the relationship between being controlled by the keyboard and the labels that I'm leaving here? Well, it is because I want the app to be easy to control with the keyboard, so I want to show the keyboard shortcuts for all the operations. And I'm still not sure how I'm going to show these, but they will be here as part of the label. So that is what's going on. Now, black and white may be too harsh, so how about we come here to our colors, and we were using a cool gray for our background. I think that the background is 100 cool gray. Yeah. So how about we just take the 50 instead of white, and instead of black, the 900. Yeah, it looks a bit more subtle, and you can see against a white background, you can still see the white, but I don't know if that's advantageous or not. I like all these colors. Yes, they work well. Okay, that is our color palette. 10 beautiful colors for you to choose from. I'm thinking that maybe we want 9 colors and number 0 can be the eraser. No, let's have the eraser as a different tool. Yeah, and this is not showing up right because we have both black and white, and the white is almost transparent. So I guess what we need for this to work is a border. It will be 1 pixel solid of what? I don't know. Maybe some darker gray. Yeah. That does not look good because of the clash between the gray and the saturated colors. Also, this doesn't look good. So I think that we'll have to set the borders for the different colors manually. Or maybe we could have a shadow. Let's try a shadow. So instead of border, I'll have another shadow. So this one will be displaced on the y-axis 2 pixels. It will have a small blur and it will be some gray. Oh, and this black and white thing should probably change. But the shadow will be subtle, so it will be at 300. Nope, that is not looking good. I'll make this very extreme to make sure that the shadow is there. The shadow is only there on the first one because I am putting the shadow in the wrong place. I'm putting it when the color is checked. That's not how this works. Okay, the shadow is working, and let's make it very subtle. Yeah, and now the white pops out against the background, and we don't need to do all the shenanigans with the box shadows over here. Yeah, I don't think I want the shadows to be like that. What if we don't use the shadow at all? What if we transform scale 1.2? So now it's just slightly bigger. And I think that we should transform the... We should transition the transform in 200 milliseconds. And I think that this needs to be more visible. Yep. I like this. Can we make the gap slightly smaller so we end up... We have 10 colors. So should it be maybe like 2 by 5? I don't think we can fit 5 in a row, so it should be 2 colors on the column. To make that happen, we can probably just make it bigger. Oh no, that first of all, it doesn't look great. I mean, I think it's too big. Also, the shadow doesn't look right because if it's getting bigger, it's getting closer to us. So the shadow should be bigger. But also, I will have the labels. And I don't know how I'm going to present the labels, but maybe the labels will take the space that I need here. Let me think. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep the colors a bit smaller. Now they look too small to me. I'll make them halfway between. Okay, this size is the correct size. And we still have some space here maybe for the keyboard shortcuts. I think it's time for us to wrap this up. But let me just make sure that everything that I have on the screen makes sense. So we want a gap on this div. We want it to be bigger because now our circles are bigger. Maybe something like this. And then I guess we'll have some space to put the keyboard shortcut right here. And let's put something to divide the menu sections. And we'll say that this has only border top of 1 pixel. It will be solid. And it will be a cool gray 300 because we had that already selected. I don't see anything. I still don't see anything. Now I see something. It seems like this has some margins. And I don't want the margins. Yeah. That will do. Starting to look more like an app and less like a prototype. It is still very much a prototype, but it's looking better. I don't know if the difference in size is noticeable enough. I guess it is. Let's make the difference in size a little more noticeable. Maybe that. Yeah. That is our scale. Let me think. Maybe I should have a padding of half a rem, and I should justify the content in the center. On the left and right, the space seems correct. On the bottom, the space seems too big. Yeah, but I'll leave it. I'll leave it like that for now. That was fun. I always have fun doing these sorts of things. Yeah, we selected colors, we made it look nicer, we presented the colors more appropriately. And that is it for today. Thank you all for being here. So to recap, what we did today is we managed this window more appropriately. We started styling the thing. What else did we do? I'm just having fun. So fun to draw like this. Yep. So yeah. What else did we do? I forget. We did the window management. We did the colors. We did the presentation. We fixed the eraser. That was a big one. And yeah, that's what we did today. And on Monday, I will not work on this. On Monday, I will get back to my other JavaScript project called Kasha. There are some things that people are requesting, and we are going to work on the release 2.1 of the project. So tune in on Monday at 5:30 UTC for some Kasha work. And then on Tuesday, I will be a guest once again in IDQD Sounds channel. So we will work on some rescripts together. Specifically, we will work on writing the repack configuration to distribute our script. The script is already done. And then on Wednesday, I will be back to Notestrator. So yeah, I guess that is it for now. Thank you for watching. Thanks for supporting me on PayPal and Patreon. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. Did I say that already? Thanks for subscribing to the channel. Yeah. Have a good weekend. I see you back here on Monday for some Kasha work. Bye.